Once upon a time, in a forgotten corner of the world, nestled deep within the heart of a dense forest, there lay a village surrounded by ancient trees that seemed to whisper secrets to those who dared to listen. The villagers called it the Whispering Woods, for they believed that the trees held memories of the past and harbored spirits of the unknown. In this village lived a young boy named Ethan. Ethan was a curious soul, drawn to the mysteries of the forest despite the warnings of the elders. One moonlit night, as the village slept soundly, Ethan's curiosity got the better of him. He decided to venture into the depths of the Whispering Woods, his heart pounding with excitement and fear. The forest was alive with eerie shadows, and the branches above seemed to reach out like gnarled fingers, threatening to ensnare anyone who dared to tread too far. Yet, Ethan pressed on, his footsteps muffled by the thick carpet of fallen leaves. As he delved deeper into the woods, Ethan began to hear whispers, faint at first, like the rustling of leaves in the wind. But soon the whispers grew louder, more insistent, echoing through the darkness like a haunting melody. Ethan tried to ignore them, but they seemed to beckon him further into the unknown. Suddenly, he stumbled upon a clearing bathed in silvery moonlight. In the center stood an ancient oak, its gnarled roots twisting into the earth like the fingers of a buried giant. Ethan approached cautiously, his heart racing with a mixture of awe and dread. It was then that he saw her, a spectral figure, pale and ethereal, standing beneath the branches of the ancient oak. Her eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and her voice, when she spoke, sent shivers down Ethan's spine. "Who dares to disturb the peace of the Whispering Woods?" she asked, her voice like the soft caress of a breeze. Ethan's mouth went dry as he struggled to find his voice. I'm sorry," he stammered. "I didn't mean to intrude. I was just curious." The spectral figure regarded him with a mix of curiosity and amusement. "Curiosity killed the cat, they say," she whispered. "But perhaps in your case it will lead to something different." With a wave of her hand, the forest around them seemed to come alive, the trees twisting and contorting like living creatures. Ethan watched in horror as the very ground beneath him shifted and changed, morphing into a labyrinth of tangled roots and thorns. "You wished to explore the secrets of the Whispering Woods," the spectral figure said. "Now you shall become a part of them." And with that she vanished into the shadows, leaving Ethan alone in the heart of the labyrinth. Panic gripped his heart as he realized he was lost, trapped in a maze of nightmares with no way out. For hours, he wandered through the twisting passages, each turn leading him deeper into the darkness. The whispers grew louder, more sinister, urging him to succumb to despair. But just when all hope seemed lost, Ethan stumbled upon a faint glimmer of light. With renewed determination, he followed it, pushing through the thorny undergrowth until he emerged into the moonlit clearing once more. As he stepped out into the open air, Ethan realized that he had changed. He was no longer the same naive boy who had ventured into the woods hours before. He had faced the darkness and emerged stronger for it. With a newfound sense of purpose, Ethan made his way back to the village, vowing never to forget the lessons he had learned in the Whispering Woods. For though the forest may be filled with secrets and shadows, it was also a place of untold beauty and resilience, a place where even the darkest of nightmares could be overcome. In the heart of Ravenwood Hollow stood an old, decrepit manor, its weathered stone walls adorned with ivy that seemed to writhe and twist like serpents in the moonlight. The locals whispered tales of the manor's dark past, of curses and tragedies that had befallen all who dared to enter its forsaken halls. They called it the Haunted Manor, a place where the spirits of the dead roamed freely, their mournful wails echoing through the night. Legend had it that the manor was once home to the Ravenscroft family, a wealthy dynasty whose greed and ambition knew no bounds, but their lust for power came at a terrible price, for they made a pact with dark forces beyond their understanding, sealing their fate and that of future generations. Among the Ravenscrofts was a young girl named Isabella, who was said to possess a beauty that rivaled even the fairest flower. But behind her angelic facade lay a heart as black as night, tainted by the darkness that lurked within the walls of the manor. One fateful night, as a storm raged outside, Isabella's lust for power drove her to perform a forbidden ritual in the depths of the manor's hidden chambers. With blood as her offering and incantations whispered in ancient tongues, she sought to bind the spirits to her will, to harness their otherworldly power for her own gain. But the spirits were not so easily controlled, and in their rage they unleashed a curse upon the Ravenscroft family, condemning them to an eternity of torment within the walls of the manor. As the years passed, the manor fell into disrepair, its once grand halls now shrouded in darkness and decay. Few dared to venture near, for those who did spoke of strange apparitions that haunted the corridors, of whispers that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. Among those brave, or foolish, enough to seek out the truth was a young historian named Jonathan. Fascinated by the legends surrounding the haunted manor, he embarked on a journey to uncover its secrets, armed with nothing but his wits and a thirst for knowledge. As he stepped through the crumbling gates of the manor, Jonathan felt a chill run down his spine. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and the sound of his footsteps echoed ominously against the stone walls. Undeterred, he pressed on, his lantern casting eerie shadows upon the worn floorboards. Room by room he searched, his heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and fear. It was in the depths of the manor's hidden chambers that Jonathan stumbled upon a discovery that would change his life forever. Hidden beneath a rotting floorboard, he found a tome bound in leather, its pages yellowed with age and filled with arcane symbols. As he pored over the pages, Jonathan felt a presence watching him, unseen eyes boring into his soul. He knew then that he had trespassed upon sacred ground, and that the spirits of the manor would not take kindly to his intrusion. With a sense of urgency, Jonathan fled the manor, his heart pounding in his chest. Behind him he heard the sound of footsteps echoing through the darkness, and he knew that he was not alone. For in the haunted manor of Ravenwood Hollow, the spirits of the dead still walked among the living, their restless souls bound to the cursed halls for all eternity, and woe betide any who dared to disturb their eternal slumber. Once upon a time, in a forgotten corner of the world, there existed a small town nestled between mist-covered mountains and sprawling forests. Every autumn, when the leaves turned crimson and gold, a mysterious carnival would appear on the outskirts of the town, its arrival shrouded in secrecy and whispers. The townsfolk spoke in hushed tones of the phantom carnival, a traveling spectacle that seemed to materialize out of thin air, its faded banners and twinkling lights beckoning the curious and the brave. But behind its facade of wonder and merriment lurked a darkness that few dared to acknowledge. Among the carnival's attractions was a tent shrouded in black velvet, its entrance guarded by a sinister-looking clown, with a painted grin frozen in a macabre rictus. This was the Hall of Mirrors, a labyrinth of distorted reflections and hidden terrors, where the souls of the lost and the damned were said to wander. One chilly evening, as the moon hung low in the sky, a young girl named Lily ventured into the carnival grounds, her heart filled with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Drawn by tales of the phantom carnival's mysteries, she wandered past rows of empty tents and abandoned rides, her footsteps echoing in the stillness of the night. At last, she reached the Hall of Mirrors, its entrance looming before her like the gaping maw of a hungry beast. With a trembling hand, she pushed aside the velvet curtain and stepped inside, her breath catching in her throat. The air was thick with the scent of must and decay, and the sound of her footsteps seemed to reverberate endlessly against the mirrored walls. Lily felt a chill run down her spine as she gazed into the distorted reflections that surrounded her, her own image twisted and contorted into grotesque shapes. But as she ventured deeper into the labyrinth, she realized that she was not alone. Shadows danced at the edges of her vision, fleeting glimpses of figures that vanished as quickly as they appeared. Whispers filled the air, disembodied voices that seemed to call out to her from the darkness. With each passing moment, Lily felt the grip of fear tightening around her heart. She knew then that she had stumbled upon something far more sinister than she had ever imagined, something that lurked in the shadows, waiting to claim her soul as its own. Desperate to escape, she ran blindly through the maze of mirrors, her pulse racing and her breath coming in ragged gasps. But no matter how fast she ran, the exit remained elusive, as if mocking her futile attempts to break free. Just when all hope seemed lost, Lily stumbled upon a mirror unlike the others, its surface shimmering with an otherworldly light. With a sense of desperation, she reached out and touched the glass, her fingers tingling with a strange electric energy. To her astonishment, the mirror rippled like water, its surface parting like a curtain to reveal a passage beyond. Without hesitation, Lily stepped through, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and relief. As she emerged into the cool night air, she realized that she had escaped the clutches of the phantom carnival. But as she looked back at the looming silhouette of the Hall of Mirrors, she knew that its dark secrets would haunt her dreams for eternity. For in the heart of the phantom carnival, the spirits of the lost and the forgotten lingered, their restless souls bound to the twisted reflections of the Hall of Mirrors for all eternity. And woe betide any who dared to venture into its haunted depths, for once you entered, there was no escape from the darkness that lurked within.